A New Hope, Nier Chapter 112 Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of Azazyel's stories. I had completed God's great work. My mind broke the already crazy Salem into a puddle of mewling flesh after reversing the corruption of the darkness pools that once stained her. And with Salem out of the way, and everything else taken care of, it was getting close to the time for me to move on from this world honestly. From becoming sober and realizing I was balls deep in Salem of all women, I just kept summoning water to keep myself hydrated, and she still had her immortality, so we fucked for literally 3 days with me using all kinds of elemental magic to enhance her pleasure, and by the 3rd day she had mentally broken and I knew she wasn't going to be an issue for Remnant now. Or in her words. Ozma who? Maybe it was a terrible thing for me to do. That is cucking an immortal body snatcher who couldn't keep his wife happy and ended up fighting with said wife in such a powerful battle that their children died almost certainly by his hand, and thus basically bringing a slow apocalypse to the world. Yeah, fuck Ozben, I will happily keep the housewife Salem who just wants kids to adore, and if he gets pissy about it he can choke on it. Already Salem was draped over my chest with her long blonde hair and angelic light-filled wings also covering most of my upper body, and she was mindlessly humming as she looked up to me with her eyes that had changed from black and red to white and blue. There was no stress in her eyes, there was no simmering anger, and there was no more of that hatred for the world, humanity, or even the gods. I had filled that gaping hole of hate and spite inside of her heart with so much cum that I made it utterly clear that she had fucking quadruplets on the way, so she better clean up her act. Salem, are you ready to leave this world and go to a new one? I asked softly as I looked up from Salem's ocean blue eyes that were locked onto my face from her position upon laying on my chest. She hummed in thought and I shivered at the feeling of her thin fingers traying up my sides. She was thinking of her answer before she finally spoke, with her voice coming out as a husky whisper. The real question is whether you are ready, Jake Barris. I may have lost a bit of my hatred for this world that has caused me so much pain. But such pain has not reached you, and do you truly wish to leave without having completed your school year, and your forces of Yora haven't even rebuilt all their forces since your last transfer? Salem questioned in turn, showing her mental wisdom. My face twitched as I realized how even with the small conversations I had with her over the last 3 days she had most definitely compartmentalized the information I spoke of, and she being several thousand years old wasn't new to the matters of statesmanship. Yeah, her words are a bit too on the money. I would most certainly in fact like to finish the school year, and hold my very own kid that Weiss is pregnant with. I thought wryly before sighing, with my arms tightening around Salem's waist with her large wings twitching, dragging their soft feathers across my arm with the motion. Finally, after a moment of just snuggling with Salem, I spoke up. You're right. Yorha needs to build up its forces, as I have no idea what world I will be going to next. I said wryly before shaking my head. That, and I want my team at Beacon to at least complete a school year before I take them on some kind of crazy adventure. I finished already with my plan firming in my mind as to the course of action. Let Yorha build up its forces, and I would be slaughtering Grim wholesale to strengthen my guardian so I could create a massive portal to bring whatever forces and logistics to this world I would be going to. While I also got to have fun with my teammates. I wasn't blind, I knew Pyrrha and Ruby were into me, and with how more open-ended relationships were here in Remnant, I knew they wouldn't object to dating me at the same time. Jean was already mine in all but name, as my unlocking of her aura and her aura sharing with me. She was just waiting for me to make the first move. Do you plan to get rid of the darkness pools as well? Salem questioned, and at her words, I froze as I fucking realized the error of my thinking. The Grim pools were distilled conceptual darkness that formed the Grim that would periodically come out of them. I could just let my guardian absorb the pools of darkness slowly to see how it went. I have some uses for them, I said wryly, and she snorted, but then she shifted to sit on the edge of the bed before she paused as she had something on her mind. Just get rid of them soon, I don't want to think of them anymore. She whispered softly, and then she attempted to get up. That's right, attempted to get up. Didn't matter that she was immortal, I mind broke her sweet ass for several days. If she could walk, I would drag her blonde ass back to bed, as I didn't do a good enough job. So as Salem blushed like a newlywed wife, I gave her some aftercare by levitating her into the bathroom and helping clean her of the exertions of the last 3 days. But finally, my funeral bells rang as my scroll went off, and I froze at the caller ID, which was automatically answered by the Trader Yorha operator units. Jake Barris, where the hell are you? Weiss demanded, and then continued with her pale face turning red with frustration. You literally drunk teleported away to the other side of the world and then had your scroll on silent, so come back home please. Weiss finished with a bit of pleading in her voice, and my eyes softened at the petite white-haired beauty on the other end of the video call. "Alright Weiss, I just got caught up in some stuff, I will be back in a couple of minutes," I assured her, and then the call got cut off as Salem leaned over my shoulder with her large MILF breasts pushing into my back as she rested her chin on my shoulder, and then her hand went past my side, and then with an audible click Salem pressed the hang-up button on my scroll. "If you only have a couple of minutes, then I best make this quick for you, Jake," Salem whispered, and then she moved to lay beside me so her head would go over my lap, and I realized this drunk booty call was probably the best idea I ever had.